Alright guys, so today is Wednesday. It is September 16th of 2020 and we are shrouded in fog. I'm not sure that it's fog. It may be a mixture of fog and smoke because it kind of has a really icky smell. I've tried not to go outside, but I mean, I had a pink gladiola blooming and all the other gladiolas have been yellow and I had to go get it. I had to bring it in the house. Let's see, I wanted to tell you the jacket. I put the sleeve, the second sleeve in and the cuff on, and I felled down that shoulder seam where the sleeve and the shoulder met, and it is huge. I'm surprised at how massively huge it is, but it's in the washing machine and it is washing in hot water, and then I am going to take it out of the washing machine and put it in the dryer on high. I'm gonna let it get as shrunk up as it can possibly get. Anyway, there's a huge amount of jacket and it's got to be dealt with. The belt really wouldn't help very much, I don't think. That's all there is to that. So I'm hoping it's gonna shrink up a lot, and then when it comes out of the dryer and I try it on again, I'll know what I'm gonna have to do. I was kind of thinking about going from under the arms and just doing kind of a curved seam. I might take some straight up and down darts in the front, kind of like a pleated effect maybe, or pin tucked effect. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. I wanted to show you this shirt that I ordered on Amazon for myself. It's so cute. Let's see if I can get it. It started out as a harmless hobby. Okay, I had no idea it would come to this. Yeah, so true. But it's cute, and I love the fact that the sewing machine is pink. It was on Amazon, and I will try to link it below. No affiliation, I just fell in love with the shirt. So there you have it. And this, I think I know what this is. I hope I know what this is. Because if it is what I think it is, then I'll be able to finish the coat, jacket, blanket, poncho. Yep. There it is. So I now have enough fabric that I can finish up the belt. And this morning I was thinking about it. I wear these all the time. I'm wearing a scarf right now. I wear them. I have a huge collection of these, and how cute would it be, right? So this will become a belt and separately a scarf, and I ordered a yard, so there should be plenty of fabric, because I also had the belt cut out. I already have part of the belt cut out, so I only need the other side of the belt. But I want to see if the person that cut out this one did better than the person who cut out the first one. I can already tell no, it's probably the same. Or I suppose it could be a machine that's doing it. It doesn't look like a machine cut, but I mean, you can tell just from here. It jumps up, it jumps up, it jumps up, and now we're getting into, oh lorsh, look at that. We go from way down here to all the way, oh my goodness. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Wow. So it's an uneven cut, and it's probably an uneven cut on the other side as well. Well, actually, Not as bad. Not great, but not as bad. It's only off by just a little bit. Whoever cut this off, maybe the person that cut, wouldn't that be interesting if this cut was the cut that they made for mine? That was so awful. And then the second person came along and did a better job. That's what my fantasy is, that's what happened. Because, I mean, you can see it's not great, but it's definitely not as bad as that last cut was. I mean, I lost quite a bit of fabric in that first batch that I had. So the review on that is, when you are cutting out a plaid or even just a printed fabric that's got like a sprayed on plaid or stripes, open out the full width of the fabric and cut straight along one line. Otherwise, you're going to give whoever you're cutting it for, yourself or someone else, you're going to end up giving them, you're shortchanging, basically, is what's happening. So, the other thing I wanted to talk about was, I don't know where it went. Hold on. So I've started on biscuits, as you can see. And remember, this is DMC 817. And it is one of the reds that is considered an acceptable red work color. So there you have that. I'm not sure I can tell any difference between sweet tea, apple butter, and biscuits. But anyway, so that has been a work in progress. My day basically starts at 2:30 in the morning, and I have an hour, so I go from 2:30 to 3:30 doing something like this or another project, another sewing project. And then at 3:30 my sister calls me and we chat. We're both huge Heyday players, non-sponsored, not affiliated, not pushing the game. It's just what we do over the phone together. We read the news together, talk about books we're reading together, and then about 4:30, sometimes 4, but usually 4:30 my time. She's 2 hours ahead of me. She'll get off the phone and start her day, and then I continue kind of working on my needlework, or I'll come into the sewing room and either straighten up in here a little bit or kind of plan what I'm going to be working on the next day, or that day. This morning I spent a little bit of time looking at tripods for camcorders, because that's what I have. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So that's what I'm currently working with. What I would like is an overhead, and I cannot find this is an it is a XA11. So I love it. I mean, it does pretty much everything I need for it to do. But the issue is the tripod is not me friendly. I have too many issues with it where it is, and then if I try to put it over on this side over here, like right here, I can't see the view of what you're seeing, so that makes it even more difficult. And the other issue is I do not have a remote. At least I don't think I have a remote. If I had had a remote, I'm pretty sure I'd remember that I had a remote. So I can't remotely change. If it were way, way up over my head, I wouldn't be able to, turn the camera off or turn it back on or do any of the onboard things that I sometimes need to do. So I don't know. I was kind of imagining some kind of a Franken chair where my chair had like uprights and then a cross beam, and the camera could be hanging over my head, and then every time I turn, it turns. There may be such a thing. I don't know. I know that you can get the wear pack, but I think that's for strictly DSLR or a GoPro, and I don't think I've not seen one for a camcorder, even a smaller one like the XA11. But the reason I'm bringing this up is if you know of something, if you are aware of some type of way that I can set this up so that I can do those overhead shots, because I would love for you to be able to see basically what I'm seeing from my perspective. I think it would be a little bit more helpful. I mean, even if it was on the other side of George, you know, if you guys were able to see from over here, this perspective. There's a wall there, and so I could do like a wall mounted something, but I can't find anything that has the tripod connection that the camcorder requires. So I'm just not looking in the right place. I don't know the terminology, perhaps. I don't know. So if you have suggestions or ideas, you know, I'm just not in a position right now to go purchase a new camera. I was looking at the DSLRs. I mean, I think it would be fun to have two. Oh my gosh, you know, wow. But that's just, there's my sewing needle that I lost this morning. So, anywho, there's that. So that's what I was doing this morning. And then I came in and did the jacket. And then there were some other things that I wanted to do that I've got to get off my list. One is I have a set of curtains that I need to hem. And then, if you recall, I got the Autumn Spice and Autumn Harvest, no, Autumn Spice and Autumn Haze fabrics for the McCall's Crafts American Tradition table runner. And of course, I'm working on a table runner. But the fun project would be those two fabrics that I got at Joann Fabrics the other day. The pumpkins and the hunting dog and pheasant fabric. So my plan is to try to come up with something that I can do with those two. Either mesh them together or make something individually from both. I don't know. And then I had another, because I don't have enough ideas apparently, but I had another great idea, and that is this. I'll show you a picture of this. It's not this, but it's similar to this. Little necklace embroidery thingy-hees. I'm excited about it. But anyway, so I'm going to go and deal with lunch, and when I come back, we will have a project. Probably the jacket will have been dried at that point. So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay guys, it has been washed in scalding hot water. It has been dried in a very hot dryer. And it is still huge. Massively huge. So I just tried it on and looked in the mirror, and I think what I'm going to do, there's a few things that need to be done to actually finish. I mean, obviously the hem, you know, hasn't been completed. Length, the actual jacket length isn't an issue. I mean, it can be as long or as short, you know, as I want it to be. So that's not something I'm going to spend a whole lot of time working on. But I think what I am going to do is right here along the side seam, I'm going to pin, I'm just going to play around with it. You know, I'm not going to turn this into a how to now fit this and then have it be, you know, taking up time. but I will give you progress updates as I go. So there'll be, you know, the pin, the baste, the check for fit. The sleeves are at the moment not all the way to the end of my hand. They just, you know, about that much of my fingers are visible now since I washed it. So I know it did shrink, but, and thankfully the shrinkage happened all over in the same proportions. It did not shrink weirdly, like one sleeve shorter than the other, or one side of the jacket shorter than the other. But I am going to, you know, just kind of work with it, pull it in quite a bit, do some pinning and some basting and trying on, and just kind of see what transpires from that. So I finally come up with a project to, you know, soothe the soul. I have to do something like every day. Now what I do when I take it off of the post, I flip it over, because when I do that, it causes the bobbin to be in the proper position, which is unwinding clockwise. So just try that sometime. Just remember, take it off of the post and turn it over. Just flip it over and it will be rolling out clockwise. It should be. I'll put it that way. Now I know that my thread is going counterclockwise because I loaded it that way on purpose. So I don't know if you remember, but this is a piece of trim that I removed from a pillowcase, or actually a quilted pillow sham. I have noticed that the cording is coming out, so I'm going to go ahead and re-stitch the cording back in place. And if you've never worked with that before, the way it goes is you use your zipper foot. That's how you get a really good corded piece of fabric, is by using your zipper foot. So I'm going to grab that real quick and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so here's one of the storage boxes that I keep my machine feet in, and I see I have a 4 in this one. I actually have 3 or 4 of these. I gave one to my oldest daughter, who has the exact same sewing machine that I have. So maybe I only have 2 now, but that's fine, because who needs more than one? And I don't even know how that happened. I just, somehow I ended up with extra number 4s. So I don't know. Alright, so I'm going to set this over here and attach this. Now with this machine, and it may be true of all, I don't know, if you don't move your needle over, if you take a stitch, your needle is going to hit a solid piece of metal and break. So I suggest that while you're doing the switcheroo between the feet, just take your foot off of your foot pedal, or put your needle, just move that needle over however it is that you need to do. I push a button on my machine and it slides the needle over 2 spaces. So do that, put the foot on, and then at least it's out of the way of that metal bar in the middle. Even if it's not on the right side, at least you're not going to break your needle by accidentally stepping on the gas. Okay, so there's where it's starting to fall out. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it back. And I don't mind at all that this thread is not the right color.